It's Theory Thursday. So happy to be here with you guys. And this month of December, to wrap up the end of the year, what we're doing here in the Hero Academy, which is the coaching arm of our JP Design Theory company, is that we're doing a guest lecture series. So for the next 3 Thursday evenings, we have guest lecturers come in. These are professionals, experts in their fields. These are people that we know or that we have worked with or that we have admired their work from afar. And we've asked them to come and talk to you all, our heroes, about different topics to help you get ready for 2025. So tonight, I am super happy to have with me Ev.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Nicole.
I'm so happy that you're here with us. So really quick, because I have to tell you the bio, right? So you are
Mhm.
a visionary and an executor. You help businesses, nonprofits, creative entrepreneurs build meaningful connections with their target audiences, which is so important. We're going to talk about the target audience piece
Mhm.
through events, media support, brand activations, and you specialize in turning creative ideas into reality. I met Ev this year, and the first time I met her, it was at a very unique event. It was a creative marketplace. It was actually for one of my real estate clients who was selling her home, but she's an interior designer. So she had beautiful custom pieces, beautiful furniture. Every time we would promote the listing, we would get questions about her items. And Ed was instrumental in putting together a creative marketplace where vendors came, where people who were interested in purchasing items and artwork from the home came. I mean, it was just a unique idea that I had never even considered. That was the first time I met her. Since then, she has put on other events. She's even done an event with us, the Hero Academy, with the Greater Haitian American Chamber of Commerce at the National Entrepreneurship Center. So, if you guys remember back in November, we did this amazing event that we still are getting so much attention from on social media. So, that is my introduction for you guys for Ev and who she is and her expertise in marketing. Hi. Hi, Dada.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I thank you kindly, Nicole, for the warm introduction. It's been a pleasure to connect with you, to meet you. There's power in connection. There's power in getting into the right rooms and building community. Because meeting you is what helped have a location to birth the idea of Creative Marketplace to happen within Orlando area. Thank you for Hero Academy believing in the vision and being a sponsor and coming alongside of that and coming into the room and adding value as a speaker and hosting the workshop that you did, which, really dropped a lot of gems and nuggets on how we can perfect our business, our foundation, our craft, and what it is that we're trying to scale. A lot of times, a lot of us get into our field of work out of passion and hobby. But one thing I could say, I remember even having that follow-up Zoom call with Nicole. She's gonna make sure you monetizing. That's that question is gonna be there. It's okay for it to be a hobby and a passion, and you could have an LLC, but baby, she gonna make sure, are you monetizing? Are you making money? Are your systems and funnels in place? So thank you. Appreciate to be on this live and ready to jump in.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, monetization is key. And you're right. We all come to this because there is something about what we're offering that lights us up and makes us excited. I promise you that passion will not sustain you when you have bills to pay, when you need to eat, when there are experiences in life that you want to experience. That passion is not enough. We have to learn how to and be comfortable with. It took me a long time to be comfortable with monetizing my expertise, monetizing my passion, my services, my products. So hopefully you can help with that from a marketing perspective. So here's my question for you, because you're
Mhm.
so creative, but then you have to bring that creation into reality for your clients.
Mhm.
What is your process of even coming up with an idea that's going to work for a solopreneur?
Mhm. My process in that, I like to do what I call The onboarding, we're auditing and processing what has been working, what have you been doing, what have been the results, what are
Yeah.
some goals you have in place. It's just asking those questions to make a better assessment to see what we have to line up for your content, what we have to line up for your social media platform, what we have to line up to make sure that your social media also mirror and reflect your website. So doing that audit and being able to process with the client of where they at. If you haven't had a social media manager before and you've been managing your own account, when you look at your matrix and your insights and have your content converted people to click into your website. So it's processing all of that in order to make a blueprint and a new plan to say, okay, we have to shoot content with intentionality. We have to post with intentionality. We have to post with a call to action. We have to take that post and bring it to story and have a link already available to click to where you need to lead them. We have to put urgency on the demand of what it is that you're offering. Because anytime somebody see a sale and they don't have an expiration date on it, they could think they could come whenever and that sale will still be available. So it's like, how do we put an expiration date to your offer? So it's coming up with all of that when we're processing and figuring out, okay, what is the goal? What have you been doing? So when I come to the table, it's like, how can I add and how can we join forces to make sure like we're not just creating on your page to have a cute aesthetic timeline, but the ultimate goal. If you're investing in a social media manager, you want some results on your investment to seeing like, okay, even if I haven't received the sell yet, but I'm seeing more clicks on my website. People are more, I'm getting inquiries, I'm getting eyes on my page. So eventually something is working. So that's what that process initially looked like when starting at that beginning phase.
Yeah. So, in terms of hiring a social media manager, is there a business that's too small, or like when in the process should someone hire a social media manager? Is it after you get 5,000 followers? Is it like when should they be looking to hire you?
I would say no business is too small or too big to hire a social media manager. I feel like that's a question somebody have to ask themselves to say, am I too busy that I can't even show up consistently for my own page? And that's when you realize I need help and do I have the budget to afford that help? And yeah, whether small or big, I think it's taking that assessment of saying, do I feel like this is worth the investment to put it in somebody else's hands that could show up more consistently? Because a lot of times, especially people that's working with products or in a service-based business, like you're wearing multiple hats. And a lot of times people really don't have the time and the consistency to show up and showing that value on their platform. And it's like you could either be missing a client, not knowing the knowledge, the worth, and the quality of your product or your service, because that's not also reflecting on your portfolio. Um, so I would say no one is too small to consider wanting to consider a social media manager. The question will be, are you too busy to show up consistently? And if you are, do you have a budget to make that investment?
Yeah, yeah. What is the most common issue that you're finding when you start working with someone who says, I've been doing my social media myself, and now I'm
Mhm.
ready to make that investment? When you start working with, and I'll say solopreneurs, because that's our
Mhm.
audience, that's who we are, right? When you start working with solopreneurs, what's the most common mistake that you're seeing them make?
I would say it's getting lost with the disappointment of, oh, this didn't get a lot of likes. This didn't get a lot of this, or this didn't go viral. And I often try to tell people, post it anyways. Like right now, I recently got back from a trip working with Marriott, and they
Mhm.
made this clear. They say, we post something, even if we don't get a lot of, we're not bringing you on as a partner for a content or a post to go viral to receive a lot of likes. It's still a portfolio. When people are wanting to reference what did this activation look like? How did this meal look at the restaurant at the Marriott? How was this the room experience? If we think about anywhere we're getting ready to travel, dine, eat, or want to experience, oftentimes we're trying to look if they have a social media platform. And regardless if there's a lot of likes or not, we're visual. So it's like if we could see, oh, okay, the room looked like this, the resort looked like this, the your plate, your meal portion was like this, it's social proof. So
Yes.
regardless of a viral, regardless of a whatever, you're building social proof. I try to tell people don't get it discouraged about the likes and the follow is how do we make it work for us? Like how are you taking the content from your timeline and bringing it to your story and educating more of those viewers that's digitally watching your stories of the value of that product or that service or that experience that you offer. And so if you have a faithful 20 or a faithful 30 or a faithful 200 or 1,000 that watches your story, somewhere along the line, you're going to convert somebody to not go to the website to either buy, invest, or DM and inquire more information. So it's the misconception of saying we're not on social media to get it rich. We're trying to see how we could make it work for us. So if we treat it like a mobile resume, a free billboard, and a free portfolio that could reach rooms we can't, that's ultimately the goal we have to do with our platform.
Mm, I like it. Mobile resume. Yeah, and it's so true. I know from my own experience, we have clients that have 100K, 70K followers, and they have not made any sales. And we have clients that have 300, 400, and they're making sales. So it is
Mm-hmm.
a lot less about what's going on and more about like the intention. So that
Mm-hmm.
makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like every now and again, every so often, there are certain vocabulary words that become on trend. And I
Mm-hmm.
have heard activation. I see it all the time with brand activations. Come to this event, we're doing on-site activations. What does that mean?
So for me, brand activation will be, for example, where you have who can I use as an example? The House of Pastiche.
Mhm.
That's a luxury wig making brand, household name for wigs. So what a brand activation will look like is to say, how can we now make what you curate in this wagon, what you're curating in the four walls of your studio to put on your website, how do we bring it to life to have a real experience with other potential consumers, touching the quality, getting the customer service experience, connecting with you as a personal brand, connecting with you as the wig maker. So a brand activation for a wig company will look like doing a live lookbook. A brand activation for a wig company will look like, hey, we're doing a pop-up. You could step into the wagon, do some try on with wigs. Does this feel comfortable? How does it feel on your head? What's the quality? So now you're getting live in motion, real interaction with someone trying your wigs. So now you can now convert whether they buy or not. You can now still take that and leverage it as something you could have on your platform where somebody is now speaking the quality and experience that they had with your brand and your product. That way, when you're showing up online, it don't always have to be you trying to sell this wig, but you created an activation that allows a real customer experience to happen to activate your
Okay.
product, your personal brand, and your customer experience. So
So,
that's to
so
me,
it's
that's
an
what a brand is.
in-person, like an in-person physical experience of a brand. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
okay? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm telling you, I'm going to Miami this weekend and I saw it like we're doing brand activations at this event and I'm like, what does it
Mm-hmm.
mean? So, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. How much prep work goes into launching or working on someone's social media? And I ask that question because sometimes for a lot of solopreneurs, capital budget is tight. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't get to the point where they're ready to invest in a social media manager until they really realize they need it. When
Mm-hmm.
by the time they realize they need it, they think they need it for tomorrow.
Facts.
Right? And
Yeah.
then sometimes you'll find yourself spending time trying to slow people down. So like, when should someone pull the trigger if they think I'm having an event in 6 months, 3 months, next month? what's the prep time to do something really effectively for their social media?
I will honestly say, to be fair to the social media manager and to be realistic to that business or that brand that's wanting a social media manager, we're talking anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks preparation, because you have it where a lot of people could come to you to say, I'm ready for social media management. I have hell of content. I'm overwhelmed. I don't have time to post it. Then when you get the content and it's okay, what's our focus for this month or this quarter or this week? What's the campaign? Does this content even align with that? If not, now we have to do scheduling some content days. So
Yeah.
it's never you onboard today and you could expect a post tomorrow if we haven't outlined like what's the ultimate goal, what's this month goal, what is this quarter goal, what are we campaigning, what's the content calendar. So that takes time to develop. And if you really want somebody to show up for you effectively for your page, these are the kind of questions you gotta have and have to be prepared to say like, as much content I could say I have on my phone, or if I think I have enough content, does it align to what I'm saying I'm trying to have on my platform to create results? So if it doesn't, you have to have time now to have these conversations for us to do where I'm giving you creative direction and say, hey, on this day, shoot this. Hey, on this day, as you're making your coffee, prop your camera, record that, no audio needed. Let's put some captions over that. Hey, you a fashion designer. On this day, I want to just show day in the life. You walking in, setting up your room to get ready to customize this custom dress. So now we have to give creative direction to navigate your content to be ready for to be effective, because everybody could have content. And as much as we heard the trend, everything is content, that is true. But when you're working with a product, a brand, or service where you're looking for your platform to bring results to what you want to your landing page, the content has to be intentional, the caption have to be intentional, the call to action have to be intentional, and all that takes time to craft.
Yeah. What are you seeing most people miss when you're looking at these social media pages and you're coming in, like what are they missing? What are they not doing right?
I would say it's not a matter of, I like to bring up, because sometimes we overthink how we have to show up. Somebody that I admire and one day hope to meet is Miss Tabitha Brown.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's not in the best production type of room. She in a bathroom, she's in her kitchen, she's in the car, she's at the restaurant. She's authentically showing up as herself. So sometimes we have to think, oh, it has to be 4K quality. I need it script. I need it perfect. I need it. No, you need it to be you. People fall in love with a personal brand. And if they trust you, they connect with your story, they connect with you. They're gonna trust your product. They're gonna trust what you offer. That lady could post something today and it's gonna be sold out at Target tomorrow. Cause she's built a personal brand. She shows up online herself. It don't come off false. But when we come off have like we're being so salesy of what we trying to sell, it comes off like there's a lot of other people doing what you do. I have to trust you. But when we show up as a personal brand and people connect with our story, our personal brand, and we're authentic, it's less salesy and it's more like, man, how can I support what you're doing? How can I get
Yeah.
coaching with Nicole? How can I buy this shirt? How can I get this dress? Let me invest in this wig. So I would say it's showing up authentic and it's being intentional with how we show up. And it don't always have to be perfect. It just have to be authentic and real.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. One more question.
Mhm.
How could a solopreneur leverage their platforms more effectively? Like, let's say they're not at the space where they're ready to invest in a social media manager. What could they be doing right now to get ready to work with you?
I would say having your quarterly goals. What's your financial goals? What are you launching? What's been at a standstill? Like asking yourself and processing all those questions. And in preparation and say, there's some things, you know, as a solopreneur, you can do yourself. Like for me, though I have passion in doing social media management, I'm also okay to navigate, like just to sit down with somebody to just give them creative direction and a content calendar to say, hey, We can create the content, we could, create the caption and schedule a content calendar, and it could be done yourself at a lower cost versus having someone to do it. Because sometimes people just get overwhelmed not knowing what to post, overthink what captions need to go, overthink what audio and sound. This sound is trending. My reel might go viral if I post it with this sound. It's so the best preparation that could be done is just knowing what your ultimate goal is and just treating your platform as a place for social proof. So when it becomes less as I'm trying to just push and sell on, push and make a sell or push to do this, is to say, how can we make your platform show that you're well educated in what it is that you're providing, that you're passionate about what your mission statement is, you're passionate about customer service and customer experience, that you're making more of your customers be highlighted on your page and doing the marketing for you and less of you doing the marketing for yourself. So how we're able to reach those customers to give those Google reviews that we now could convert to a template and post on your page, or send over a video review of, how was their experience with your product, your brand, or your service. So it's some preparations to be done on how do I make sure I have the right content? Do I know what I want to campaign? Do I know what my goal is? And drafting a content calendar from that to just set you apart.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about what you offer, and how people can work with you.
So for me, I offer day of coordinating if you're hosting an event and you need help with event production and logistics. I'm an event planner. I specialize in day of coordinating as well as social media management. Um, Not only managing accounts, but like I said, if your budget is not where it's at, to say, hey, I don't quite have it for you to manage my account, but I do need some creative direction. I could come alongside you and give you creative direction. I could come alongside you and do content days, batch content days, curating a content calendar, coming up with a marketing plan, doing a brand activation if you have never had one. Um, yeah, and simply visiting my website, curationsbyev.com, or connecting with me on Instagram and Facebook by the same name. Link in bio. You could just inquire which service you would like to inquire, and I'll touch bases with you, and we'll go from there. Big or
Yeah, do
small,
you
we
have
work
a
with
preferred?
any business. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Do you have a preferred platform where you want people to connect with you, or is it pretty much anywhere?
I would say anywhere, but I'm mainly on Instagram more than I am on
Okay.
Facebook. But yeah,
Okay.
definitely on Instagram. If you shoot me a DM or you fill out the form, I'll get it via email and I'll touch base.
Awesome. I'll make sure that we include your Instagram and your website wherever we share this. And then of course, you're also in the Skool community, so
Hmm.
people can reach out to you there as well. Um, I enjoy working with you.
Appreciate it.
I think that you have such a wealth of knowledge of ways to be creative and for our community to bring their to bring their products to the market in a way that doesn't look like what everyone else is doing.
I
So I
appreciate
think
it.
it's really valuable for solopreneurs. So I hope that people who are watching, that you guys are taking notes about what you can do right now. But if you already know that showing up on social media more effectively will help you grow your business, then I would say just go ahead and reach out. Just go ahead
I
and reach out because
appreciate
that's
it.
what you need.
I
That's
appreciate
what you
it.
need.
Well,
So
say,
thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
oh,
Anything
I
you
want
need
to
to.
say this. And I would say community too, because as you mentioned, the Hero Academy, and it's beneficial to one thing I like to say, because I know when I went to go tour the entrepreneur
National.
center, where we National Entrepreneur Center, when we did the marketplace there, and as I
Mhm.
was departing the mall, I stopped at the cafe that's a couple of doors down from where you guys are at, like down the hall, that same
Yep.
hall to the right, and ordered a smoothie, end up in a whole 2-hour conversation almost with the owner of the cafe. And it was something he said to me just in that conversation of the reality that a lot of people and a lot of shops are closing down in the mall. And though he's a small business and you're talking JC Penney's, Dillard's, like big household names are no longer in the mall. The mall is vacant, and you having a lot more smaller businesses now just choosing to set up shops in malls because it's now cost effective and more possible now with how the economy is going.
Wow.
But something that he said, he was like, keeps my door open. Now, mind you, a lot of times when I meet people, I like to do my market research and kind of see like their social media and their website and how they're thriving and what they're doing. And he didn't have a lot on his social media. And I'm not afraid to say this because social media is not all that I do
That's
as
it.
a source. So
Yep.
I like to be very true and authentic. But
Hmm.
he didn't have much on his social media platform, but he's successful in his business. And something he said that he learned in years of business and how to be ahead of the marketplace, especially a crowded marketplace. He said, I have this concept called PIP, partner in prosperity. Learning how to collaborate, learning how to get in rooms, learning how to get into different community groups. So he was like, with the products that I have, if I solely depend on it thriving within right here, this cafe, I probably will be closing shop. But
Hmm.
because I've now partnered with different restaurants, bartenders, mobile bars, my products
Wow.
are in several different places that's I'm still making the money. I don't care if they take it and they put their name on it, their logo. I'm now I'm just like a wholesaler. So I say that to say if you are in the Hero Academy, you don't have a huge budget or you feel like I'm a solopreneur, the economy is hard right now, it's like find out who's in the Hero Academy that you could partner in prosperity to
The
say, hey, how
five.
can we collaborate to
Yeah.
join forces to better scale both of our businesses? That way it's a win. You know, hey, what is it that you're doing that's not in competition with what I'm doing, but if we join forces it could be better, you know? So I would say for those of you all that's in the Hero Academy, for those of you all that has tapped into the creative marketplace, I know Nicole have released some dates of more events and workshops she's gonna
Yeah.
do. Get into the rooms because you cannot solely just be dependent on a flyer to sell out your events, a post to
Yeah.
sell out your products and your services. You gotta be in community. You have to be in these groups. You have to be in these rooms. You have to be in these workshops. We have to also, and that's the reason why I love what I do, and I'm able to say I could offer you brand activation. If you can't afford social media management, we could do content days, and I could walk you through how to manage your own page. Because at the end of the day, it takes more than just social media management to thrive in a business. You need to also be networking. You need to be in community. You need to find ways to collaborate and partner in prosperity.
I love that. I love that. It's one of my favorite quotes from Issa Rae where she talks about networking and how sometimes we're always trying to network up. And she's like, you need to network across. Like
Mm,
we need to look, pick our heads up sometimes and look around at the people and the expertise that's around us. Well, I love creating communities.
mm-hmm.
It's something that I fully believe in. And as you meet and learn and connect with more people, there's even more that you learn and you have access to. So I believe that's a good point. Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you so
yes.
much for your time. I
Of
appreciate you so
course.
much. I will
Thank
make
you.
sure that we put all of Ev's contact information. If you are faster than I am and you cannot wait, just go into the Hero Academy and she's in there. You can send DMs, you can message her, just connect and then come back and tell me that you did connect because I love when people, meet people through connection through me. I hope you guys are well and everyone is getting ready and starting to plan for 2025. I hope that everyone, including you and myself, that we're taking time to think about what we accomplished in 2024. If you are
Mm-hmm.
still here, that is an accomplishment. You have a 100% success rate at being alive. I'm
Yes.
sure you have a high success rate at a lot of other things. We know that there's always room for improvement, but sometimes, especially as solopreneurs, we're so hard on ourselves because we're looking at the results, the sales, the bottom line, but you're still here. So, as always, we're here to support you in any way that we can. I hope to see you guys in Skool. If you just go to skool.com/Hero Academy, you'll be able to connect with us even more there. So take care and have a wonderful evening. And thank you so much, my
No
dear.
problem. Good night, everyone.
Night.